So for the time being, I have been researching and watching videos about Notre Dame, and of course when watching the videos either on YouTube or TikTok, it's all about Notre Dame needs to join a conference, which to me, that's kind of funny, not gonna lie. But in all seriousness, I don't think Notre Dame really needs to join a conference to, well, survive in today's college football. I will go over some facts about Notre Dame on why they really don't need to join a conference and more, to be honest, in today's video. But before we get into this, if you do enjoy college football like I do, be sure to subscribe as it does help the channel tremendously. But let's get straight into it. Well, of course, as we start, the first thing we really have to look at when it comes to Notre Dame not joining a conference is mainly going over their tradition and their legacy. From the legendary head coach Notre, he is really legendary within Notre Dame and is iconic for his legendary speech and for also winning Notre Dame 3 national championships during his time as a head coach. There's also the 4 Horsemen, and there's also Rudy, which of course he was offsides. I'm just joking, Irish fans. I love you dudes. Anyway, they had that tradition and legacy of being an independent too, and if they were to ever join a conference, well, I could see that as a way of kind of ruining that trust between the fans and maybe some alumni too, but mainly the fans, because the fans, they always enjoy having Notre Dame being an independent, and they embrace that independence, and through their fan base, they will continue to have that legacy and that tradition to be very unique within college football, because if Notre Dame were to join either the Big Ten or the ACC for football, that would kind of ruin the uniqueness for Notre Dame. That's just really what makes them unique, of just being an independent for football only. But for all their other sports, of course, they're in conferences. Of course, I know Notre Dame is pretty much with the ACC when it comes to all sports, but for football only, guys, football only is where Notre Dame becomes independent. We also need to take a look at Notre Dame's identity as well. People need to remember that Notre Dame is also independent as a Catholic institution as well. There was a time that Notre Dame was going to be in the Big Ten, but unfortunately, due to their belief, the Big Ten did not want them whatsoever, which kind of does make the Big Ten look bad a little bit, but hey, I'm not going to go too deep with the details on that one, man. But with that, Notre Dame would embrace their independence as they would travel coast to coast to face teams as an independent, which in my opinion is really cool, and I'm glad that they were able to just embrace themselves as an independent and just travel from coast to coast to different teams, playing as a really great football team most of the years, and sometimes they will have their down years, but most of the time they will play good against those teams, either from the East Coast to the West Coast. Let's not forget that Notre Dame is very popular due to their fan base, of course, and their great rivalries. Like, for example, Notre Dame and USC for the Jules Shillelagh. This rivalry always will be my second favorite rivalry, honestly. My first favorite will always be the Georgia versus Georgia Tech rivalry. Yeah, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. Go Dogs, baby! Anyways, they also do have rivalries with Stanford, Michigan, Navy, Purdue, Michigan State, and of course Miami. I can add Miami for that one, man. Like, I really think Miami and Notre Dame should be a rivalry in college football. I think it is. I'm not too sure. Really though, they had a whole documentary about Miami versus Notre Dame on Netflix. I watched that. It was honestly a really good watch. But with that, they do get popular as they do travel coast to coast facing these teams from different conferences and getting a bit popular if they beat those teams most of the time, just mainly facing them in college football or maybe college basketball. Pretty much with any other sport, they will get just known popularity just from that too. And not only that, but Notre Dame, when it comes to recruiting, they are well known within recruiting, recruiting really good athletes, really good athletes, like Jeremiah Lowe, for example, running back for Notre Dame. He's really good, honestly. And of course, Notre Dame going to the national championship game against Ohio State, and they did beat my Bulldogs, but we won't talk about that though. I think that will help them recruiting wise as well, making it to the national championship. And of course, they try to recruit mainly sometimes in the West Coast whenever they're facing USC for that rivalry game. You know, like some of those rivalry games, they do mean a lot more. And in today's college sports, of course, like rivalries, they will tend to die out if the way that college sports is going with the 2 super conferences goes. We might not see Notre Dame or USC ever again if it continues to go into that route. Overall, even if it does happen like that, I mean, Notre Dame nationally recruiting, they will be fine, honestly, when it comes to recruiting. Now, there is one thing that I really do want to talk about, and that is Notre Dame's TV contract with NBC. Of course, with all TV contracts within college sports, Notre Dame does have a contract with NBC. As we all know, due to the playoffs, Notre Dame got paid a lot for making it to the national championship. I mean, it was like $20 million. So yeah, they were getting paid a lot of money. So honestly, when it comes to people saying that they need to be joining a conference, dude, they are literally independent. They have a TV contract with NBC, and they get paid lots of money, lots of revenue for just even making it to the national championship, or pretty much just really to the playoffs in general. Like, they really don't need to even just leave to be in a conference. They can just stay independent and make a lot of money. Media broadcast rights and stuff with NBC, and just getting paid through that. Like, bro, it's honestly wild. Like, if you're like very good, or like you are an independent team and you're making a lot of money, why would you even want to leave being an independent? I mean, if you have the fan base to back it up and everything, then that's good. And Notre Dame has that fan base. Has the fan base, is known nationally. They really don't even need to leave independence just to go and join the conference. Like, they're pretty much fine where they are. Now, of course, with NBC, I think their media right broadcast rate, I think it does extend through 2029, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure on that, but yeah, they pretty much are with NBC. Now, the reason why people want Notre Dame to be in a conference is mainly because of a bye that people say they get for being independent. Notre Dame, as an independent, isn't in a conference for football, so they don't have to play a conference championship game. And that's where people are kind of pissed with Notre Dame, like, not being in a conference, because to a lot of people, it mainly feels like a bye, when to me, it certainly is not, of course. Like, it really does not matter, in my opinion. Yeah, they do get some rest because, of course, they don't have to play a conference championship, but it still comes down to how they perform within the playoffs itself. It doesn't matter if they're not in a conference championship game or not. Like, if they're in it, if they're in a conference championship game, or if they're not in a conference championship game, it only matters about being in that playoff and playing your tails off, man. That's what it is. Playing your tails off to get into the national title scene. In my opinion, it really isn't too important to me. I mean, they still have a path to the playoffs. They just need to really just win all their games to make it to the playoffs. I mean, that's all they have to do. Just win all their games that they have scheduled, and they pretty much will be in the playoffs. That's pretty much it. Now, with everything that I said, I really don't think Notre Dame needs to join a conference at all right now. They make so much money from their athletics, mainly from football, and are an academic power too. They also have a very loyal fan base, really great tradition, and of course they are just very unique in their own right. They just don't need to join a conference at all, dude. Unless, and a very big unless there is like a super mega conference that is more regionalism, or just relies on regionalism, like that Project Rudy that some people continue to talk about to this day. I just don't see them joining a conference anytime soon unless that happens. But with all that, I just don't see them joining any kind of conference really. Just not right now. I just feel like they're pretty much good where they are as an independent. But if they were to join a conference, which conference do you guys think they would be able to join? Do you think they would join the Big Ten with all the rivals, or do you think they'll join the ACC because of their academics? Let me know in the comments which conference you think Notre Dame would join if they wanted to join a conference. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it. Of course, this is my opinion. My opinion, of course, is that Notre Dame, they're not going to join any conference. They're pretty much just going to be fine as independent. They really don't need to join a conference. They're good where they are. Of course, I'm Notre College Football. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, dudes. See you in the next one.